All right, beautiful morning to you. Glad to have you join us on your highly conversational show Frontline. Here to clarify issues of public interest across the socio-economic and political spectrum. 0906 201 are the numbers to be a part of the conversation. The WhatsApp portal is also open. You are free to send your messages there. We will take it. The number is 0906 200 1025. 0906 200 1025. Even your voice notes, please send it there. Ensure it's no more than a minute so that we can allow others to also be a part of the conversation. Ayodeji Ologun is joining us on the show this morning. Ayo, good morning to you. Glad to have you join us here.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. And compliment of the season to our listeners.
Happy New Year to you. This is the first time we are speaking this year.
Yes, it is. Thank you very much for having me.
It's always a delight to have you, Ayo. Ayo, let's begin the conversation from what is currently happening with Rivers politics. And some are asking this particular question saying, could this escalating feud between the FCT minister Nyesom Wike and Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara, asking if this could, pose a serious threat to the unity within the APC. Because the political rivalry reignited with Wike touring Rivers State now, where some of his comments seems to be pledging to frustrate Fubara's re-election bid. This is even as the governor himself now belongs to the ruling APC and is also enjoying, support from key APC stakeholders. Some who have paid him courtesy visit and all, and Wike have also said all of that should stop. You look at it, and the APC National Secretary Ajibola Bashir, and Wike engaged in a war of words recently, saying, SRJ, that's Bashiru, should not engage in Rivers politics. And Ajibola Bashir also responded as well to say, you don't have the local standard to talk about the ruling party APC in Rivers. You don't belong to the political party. Showing Wike where he belongs, saying he's still a member of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Ayo, when you look at all of these, what is your understanding about this ahead of the 2027 general election? And what does this mean to a man who is serving within the cabinet of an APC-led administration, being advised by the APC National Secretary to say he should resign from the cabinet and focus on Rivers politics? How are your take?
Well, there are four things going on in Rivers State, and I'm going to try to break down the four. I will begin with the one that concerns the people. There are four issues, like I said. Number one is the issue of governance. Number two is party supremacy. Number three is what is called godfatherism. And number four is what is called the intricacies of party politics. It is unfortunate that in all of these things, governance is suffering. And that is the one that concerns an average River State indigene or dweller. People used to forget, especially politicians who overrate themselves, that the number of politicians compared to the overall number of citizens and dwellers of a place is less than 30%. Politicians are less than 30% in all rating across board when it is compared to those who are dwellers and citizens of a particular community, society, town, state, and the country, as the case may be. So when you allow politics to impair on governance, you are depriving the people of the rightful benefits that is accruable unto them. And then they begin to give you excuses that governance does not exist outside of politics. I beg to differ. Politics is only a wheel through which governance is driven. When you play politics to overshadow governance, you are being unfair, unjust, ungodly to the people that you are leading. And that is why the narrative of Wike fighting Fubara, Fubara fighting Wike, the presidency showing interest in one, party leaders showing interest in all of these things are shenanigans that ordinarily you have no bearing on the daily benefits accruable to the citizens. Unfortunately, it is. Now you see Fubara touring states outside of Rivers, sitting more in Abuja than the state is governing, talking more of politics than governance, talking more of politics than development, and then you begin to wonder, where is the people's place in all of this? Number two, you talk about what is called politics in its sense. And that's why I said politics should be the wheel through which governance is driven. But when you have politics dividing the people, that is no longer politics. That is interest serving. And that is what is playing out in Rivers. Let's take Wike as an individual. Wike should realize that Rivers State does not belong to him solely. It's only a part of what makes Rivers State. Rivers State is not his inheritance. Rivers State is not his private estate, where he can make decisions, make pronouncements, as if he's a god and nobody there changes it. He might have the followership in court, but that doesn't make him a god. Rivers State existed before him. Rivers State existed with him. Rivers State will outlive him. And he should realize that power is only transient. He might be deserving of what is accruing to himself by the virtue of sacrifice he must have made or he might have made. But it's not enough to play God. And it's quite unfortunate that the presidency or the president in itself that's supposed to caution him is giving him wings to fly. Maybe because the government of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu or President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as an individual seems to hold Wike so much. He seems to hold a secret that is unknown. And that is why he's given wings to fly, given wings to control Rivers State as his private estate, and it's difficult to caution him when he treats a people as if there is inheritance. Look, nobody will do to Wike what he's doing to a Fubara. I understand Fubara might have been a product of Wike, but for God's sake, he got election of the people. He is His Excellency. He's a governor of a state, duly elected by the people. He should be accorded that respect, even if he goes to prostrate or to lick the feet of a Wike behind closed door. He should be accorded the office and the right of a governor. Not when you talk to a governor as if you are talking to a secondary school student or one primary school teacher. Even at that, the primary school teacher deserves some respect of dignity of labor. And then you see a party leader openly referring to a sitting governor as one governor, so-called. That is embarrassing. That is insulting. That is disrespectful. And as a citizen of Nigeria and as an elite, I take an exception to that. Now, to the issue of party politics, which is ruining Rivers State. Fubara seems to begin to align with governors within the APC forum because he has come to the APC. They are now beginning to see him as one of them. That is why the chair of the APC Governors Forum, the governor of Imo State, the chief of staff to the president, the secretary of the party, Ajibola Bashiro, and all of them are beginning to treat Fubara as one of them, as some Ogba, like they will say in the streets. And they are beginning to accord him the honor of one of them. And such is mounted to disrespect to a Wike who sees himself as the controller general of the affairs and the resources of Rivers State by his access to the president. But he must have forgotten that Nkan Yi Nkan Wa is different from Nkan Yi Nkan Mi. You might be close to the president, you might be a member of the cabinet, but as this money, I can't know what will happen in the next 1 hour. A Wike is not a member of the All Progressive Congress. So his limitation is limited to governance and his personal relationship to the president. So when it comes to the affairs of the APC, Wike should not become an interloper, a meddlum interloper at that. If he wants to be a party man, and he wants the structure of Rivers State APC, not the structure of Rivers as a state, in his pocket, he should go and join the party APC. But you cannot be in the PDP and wanting to control the affairs of the PDP, of the APC. He must realize he's just a meddlum interloper in affairs of the party in that state. And that's the clarity that needs to be sought and given to Wike. He should not think he's a god in PDP and he's going to be a god in the APC. The party is the party. And if he's not a member of the party, he cannot enjoy the benefit of the party or dictate what happens in that party. Lastly, is the issue of overall politics as it appears on 2027. It's obvious to even the blind that the president will tread softly in wanting to substitute a Wike for anybody. Because of the role he played in the emergence of Mr. President as president in 2023, the resources of the state that he plunged into the election of Bola Ahmed Tinubu when everything was against Bola Ahmed Tinubu, how he was able to hold the PDP into ransom and break their ranks to the benefit and advantage of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. All of this put together put him at an advantage with Mr. President. And even the role he's playing as a bulldozer and destroyer of the structures and firmaments of the PDP is what Mr. President might not want to lack on. So it might be difficult for anybody to think that Mr. President will substitute or will trade the Wike at this time. Of course, there's nobody not tradable in politics. I will not be a fool not to know that after the emergence of Mr. President in 2027 for a second time, if he so emerges, a Wike will not be as powerful as he is now. Because there will be not so much to take from him. His value will dwindle. But as it stands today, Mr. President may not be able to switch, snitch, or negotiate a Wike with anybody. But he must also realize that he has a party to work together. And it's already spreading. The crisis within the APC and Wike as an individual is already eating and destroying the politics of the APC and its parliament in Osun State. The same thing is happening to his influence in Anambra State, PDP and APC. The Mr. President needs to find a balance between the influence of Wike and what Mr. President is allowing and his meddlum interloping attitude in the affairs of the APC. Only Mr. President can do this. And it's right time that Mr. President calls a Wike to order and let him realize that you are only a friend of Mr. President. You are only a benefactor of Mr. President. You are only a tool in the hand of Mr. President, not a dictator, not even a member, not a beneficiary of whatever the APC is as a party. And only Mr. President can strike this balance. And it becomes needful if he does not have to shoot himself in the leg ahead of 2027 elections.
Okay, looking at Rivers State now, you talk about the local government chairman elected on the platform of the All Progressive Congress, members of the State House of Assembly, majority of them, if not all, are now members of the All Progressive Congress APC. The governor, as well, recently defected to the All Progressive Congress. Even the deputy recently also defected to the All Progressive Congress APC. Just like the way we have seen, state campaign into the All Progressive Congress, the entire Rivers State structure now seems to be under the All Progressive Congress APC. You look at that and you say, even at this gathering, you still see members of the APC come out to say, oh, it is where our leader tells us to go. They are referring to Nyesom Wike. Even members of the APC, making such statements. What do you think that says of the All Progressive Congress APC? Will there be any form of disciplinary action against those who are making such statements? Is that not anti-party? And looking at all of this happening, is this the implosion that people have talked about to say, with the number of people defecting to the All Progressive Congress, we should be expecting an implosion? Are we approaching that mark now, Ayo?
See, the implosion of the APC is not a prophecy that anybody should be waiting for. It is something that is bound to happen. The APC will implode because many of those within its forum are not loyals of the party. And many of them are just there for marriage of inconvenience. And I think I've said this before too, that as soon as the 2027 election is over, the implosion of the APC will become so loud that it will even become smelly. Because you begin to hear some hidden truths, some hidden secrets, some underground table arrangement and contractual agreement reached, that you begin to laugh or weep for us as a nation. So that one is nothing to be worried about. It's nothing that anybody has control over. The implosion will come because a party that does not allow and uphold discipline, we have an implosion. And that is where the APC is tending towards. That's how PDP started, until it deteriorated to the level at which it is now, that you cannot even beat your chest to say a party exists called PDP. Now, by the provision of party constitution, the governor of a state is the leader of the party to which he belongs. So if a Fubara is now a bona fide member of the APC, I think it is not negotiable. Just like I tell the people of Ondo State too, it is not negotiable that the governor is the leader of the party. But when you now have a leader of the party who by rights has that leadership, but does not act that leadership, the leadership will emerge in another angle that you don't have control over, because leadership comes by emergence. You don't earn it. So if a Fubara is the leader of the party and he does not control the structure of the party in the state, then Fubara needs to check himself of how much power he has and how much of the understanding. It's like a father coming out to beat his chest when going out in the morning, and he's telling his children that are going to school, don't forget that I'm your father. And he's telling the wife, I'm beating his chest, I'm the husband of this home, I'm the father of this house. Then you should know that that person is not in control. Because you don't need to assert your position as a father if you are truly a father. You don't need to assert your authority as the husband if truly you are the husband. Your actions, the control, the grip, will confer that leadership on you, not by the title. So what is happening in Rivers State is Fubara being the leader of the party by the provision of the Constitution, and Wike acting and taking responsibility as the leader in a party where it does not even belong, because the structure is in its hand. So as much as the party at the national level needs a lot of redress to be done, a lot of discipline to be brought in, there is a need for Fubara to also understand that leadership is not by conferment. I'll give you an example. As the governor of the state, you wanted to give Christmas bonus or what have you to members of the House of Assembly. Record as it, story as it, that was offering 100,000 as Christmas bonus to members of the State House of Assembly. And another leader somewhere is offering them 5 million or more as Christmas bonus or what have you. You don't need to be told that loyalty will swing to one side or the other, and people will be finding leadership somewhere else, which the governor is not providing. Your people are hungry. You are now telling them you are their leader. You don't become their leader by mouth. You are a leader by action. You are a leader by providing leadership. So, the room given to Wike to assert is making it white by the inaction and irresponsibility, in quotes now, permission to use that word, apology for the use of that word, irresponsibility of the governor as the leader of the party. So when man buy apology to non-Yoruba speakers. When you buy job can only be found for you. Nobody will do the job for you. So it's not enough that Fubara defected to the APC, and the APC has accepted him and conferred leadership on him, and members of the governors forum of the APC and the leadership, the scribe of the head of the secretariat of the APC are all according to this. It's not enough. He needs to wake up and act leadership. Only then can Wike be cut to size.
Okay. How do you think the APC should be handling this now to avoid the issue of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Rivers State, because the same script is playing out.
As it stands, Kule, the PDP as a party is nowhere.
Who told you that? They met with the former president, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, yesterday.
See, what makes a political party is recognition by the INEC. In the election going on or being prepared for in Ekiti, the PDP does not have a candidate. And that is because INEC, as the regulatory body of all registered political parties, has not come out to accept either of the factions of the PDP as the authentic leader of that party. So as it stands today, PDP has no leadership, as known and recognized, acceptable to INEC. So it doesn't matter how many reconciliation moves they make, or how many meetings they hold with former presidents. I'm talking about the provision of the law and the provision of INEC now. So if such is the case, then the opposition to APC in Rivers State is the APC in itself, not the PDP. Have you seen the PDP issue a statement to fight Fubara in that state? It is people that are within the same party with Fubara that are loyal to a non-party member, Wike, that are the opposition within the APC in that state. And we must be very clear about that. And when you say, what does the party have to do? The party cannot do anything. Only the president can resolve this as the leader of the party in Nigeria.
By what?
Look, the PDP, the APC
to size?
chairman is quiet. Huh?
Cutting Wike to size?
There's nothing like cutting to size. It is making Wike to understand the limit of his power and influence and helping him to act responsibly so. So when people say cut to size, you don't cut a man of influence to size. You only have an understanding with him to let him realize the limitation of his powers and his influence. Are you expecting Mr. President to beat Wike or to remove him as minister? That would be too dangerous and political suicide for Mr. President to do.
Well, it's
so
what
Mr. President can
Wike,
do is
hold on, Ayo, let's look at it from this perspective. Wike is not looking at position of things right now. The field is between Wike, Fubara, not Wike and the APC. Let's be clear about that first. Now, to now say it will not be securing a re-election, meaning that whether you come to the All Progressive Congress or not, he will not be getting that particular ticket. If he is in the PDP, he will not be getting that ticket. PDP is even in a situation we can't outrightly say what it is now. But eventually, if recognized by INEC, whichever of the leadership is recognized, definitely you will consider them as one for future elections. But for now, yeah, they have about 12. Before now, they had about 12 governors. Now, 8 or thereabouts have joined up with different other political parties. And I believe they just have about 4 governors left now. Even in the entire Southwest, it's only Sheyi Makinde right now because Ademola Adeleke has pitched his tent with the A party. That's the Accord party. Do you think Wike has the influence to ensure that the APC does not present Fubara come 2027?
Of course, it does at the state level, but it doesn't at the federal level. And that's why I was talking about party politics and party and politics in general. Even though a Wike is not a member of the APC, the practical, visible structure of the APC in Rivers is in the hands of Wike, even when he's not a member of that party.
Looking at that structure now,
chairman of that party.
Ayo, please.
Of the party
looking at the structure now, do you think
members of
go on.
Members of the House of Assembly in Rivers State, most of them are members of the APC in terms of party membership. But their loyalty is to a Wike who is not a member of the party. And these are the people that have controlled the structures at the ward and local government levels. Don't forget, the rep members that are APC members in Rivers, they are APC members and they are loyal to Wike. The party chairman of the APC in Rivers is the chairman of the APC in that state, but it's loyal to a Wike who is not even a member of the party. So even if they decide to go to Congress now, and you look at the politics playing out. The national chairman of the party, the professor, said of reason, so quoted, that there won't be any automatic tickets for anybody in APC. Everybody will have to go through primaries. If that be the case, who are they able to conduct the primaries in Rivers? The party chairman, the party ward executives, House of Assembly member, these are statutory delegates if they are going by that definition. And they are in the hand of a Wike who is not a non-member, which means if Wike wins his influence, the governor will not get a ticket of the party if primary is held in the state. But you also know that the party at the national level can impose updates illegally on the leadership and the structure of APC in the states, because the signing of the nomination of any candidate of the party is done by the national secretary of the party, who seems to be on the side of Fubara now with the feud between him and the Wike. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So if you leave it at the state level, the control of the APC, the control of the PDP, the control of the political structure of governance in Rivers State today seems to be on the side of Wike. Even though he's not a party member, even though he's not the governor. But when you are talking about acceptable standards, which is what the scribe of the APC, Ayodeji Bashiru, is trying to emphasize. If you go by acceptable standards and you want to go by the influence of the governors of the APC forum, then you can be sure that at the national level, Fubara has a say. So when there is a crisis between who has a say at the state level and who has a say at the national level of the APC, you will agree with me that the only person that can find the link between is Mr. President. Mr. President will either have to appease a Wike for a Fubara to fly, or to support a Wike.
Okay. Must the Fubara fly come 2027? Huh? Can the All Progressive Congress still present a different candidate? Just like the way the national chairman, is saying, to say, well, when it comes to primary, whosoever wins.
That is the point I'm making. That's what I'm saying. The resolution of the fate of Fubara.
Is that not the ambody treatment in Lagos?
The fate of Fubara as it stands lies in the hand of Mr. President. That can only be influenced, and that is what Fubara is trying to do, trying to influence the president by his allies within the governors forum of the APC, by his allies within the national executive of the APC, trying to find a soft landing with the president and his goodwill.
Okay, let's fast forward now.
That the fate of Fubara lies in whom the president chooses to appeal.
Okay, that's fine.
The demigod called Wike or due process.
Well, you calling him demigod as well. And just because he's getting people buying and all, supporting him, the State House of Assembly, House of Rep members, even some senators as well, supporting this man, Do you think he's actually a demigod, or is it just about, this is a man that has been able to carry people along, who has been able to play his politics right and all?
That is the point. Politics is about patronage. Nobody is loyal in politics. It's about patronage. So if he has done so well in patronizing the political structure in Rivers State, and most of them are loyal to him, that makes him a demigod. Look, the way what a Wike now is what Yorubas will call adete. Wike may not be able to Fubara, but the Rivers people and Mr. President cannot afford him that warano. I'm sorry for no Yoruba speakers.
Okay, all right. Ayo, I've taken your point on that, but let's talk about the PDP National Working Committee led by Tamino Turaki.
I think you should use the factional. You should use the word factional.
That was why
Factional
I used.
working committee.
That was why I was clear that led by Tamino Turaki SAN. Do you understand what I said now?
Yes, I do.
They met up with Mr. Former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Although it was Turaki who addressed, former Goodluck Ebele Jonathan did not address the press. What was discussed in that meeting was disclosed by Turaki himself. What does that say about that particular meeting first? For the former president not to even address or say anything. He spoke to them, no doubt, but to come to the press and, show support and every other thing, that didn't happen. We didn't see that.
What the Turaki-led executive of the PDP did is simply a courtesy call. To me, with your apologies. If the other group decides to also visit former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan tomorrow, his doors will be thrown open to them.
He will also welcome them.
He will also welcome them because he has become a father figure. And anybody can walk into the house to say, Daddy, good morning. Let nobody deceive himself to think that meeting or that visit to Goodluck Ebele Jonathan is an endorsement of the faction led by Turaki. It's not. If Mr. President at his level wants to show partisan support, he owes nobody any explanation. He has nothing to fear to face the microphone to say, look, I today received so executive and I endorse them. But he's a statesman. Anybody can visit him. That's why I said what Turaki led and the group did is just a courtesy call. The other group can also decide to do that tomorrow and they will be welcomed. You see that Goodluck Jonathan has been very careful. When the so-called convention in Ibadan held, did you see him anywhere around there that could have served as an endorsement for that convention? When the crisis going on in the PDP secretariat was going on and they were slapping and throwing themselves out, did you see Mr. President visit there to mediate? So, look, the Turaki-led group, just like the other group, are simply looking for a straw to hold on to.
Okay, that's fine. Ayo. But let's also flip the coin now. Could the visit be about, you are the only one possibly who can challenge for 2027? You are the only one who could say, I'm interested in the second term, because constitutionally you might not be able to even seek re-election because that would be, unconstitutional. Could it be about that?
I want to sincerely believe, by the little access I had to former President Goodluck Jonathan, that he will not allow anybody to deceive him, and he will not even want to rock the polity. So even if that was the intention, even if that was the proposal of the Turaki-led group to him, I'm sure Mr. President will have told them clearly that one comes before the other. The decision on which party to fly will be determined by the position of the court on the possibility of him seeking another term. So if the court's decision has not been made and pronouncement made, I don't think a Jonathan with his experience and exposure will now be thinking of what faction of a political party or what party to fly their tickets. So I want to believe that the visit of the Turaki-led group to him was more of a plea for reconciliation, for him to step into the crisis of the PDP if he truly remains a member of the PDP and seek to resolve the crisis of the PDP to make PDP a formidable opposition. I want to believe, and judging by the position of Turaki when he addressed the press, that is the line of their discussion. How to resolve the crisis in the PDP and make it a formidable opposition. Yeah, I want to believe it has something to do with the likelihood of a Jonathan wanting to contest the 2027 election. You don't build something on nothing. You don't contest in a party that does not even have existence.
Okay, Ayo, before we allow citizens be a part of the conversation now, talks has been ongoing about the coalition. Former presidential candidates of the Labour Party in the 2023 election, He has also decamped. That's Peter Obi. He has also decamped to the ADC. And ever since that happened, talk has always been, and also reports as well, with Atiku rejecting call to step down and saying, well, he's interested in being the flag bearer of the ADC as well. Some would have thought before Obi join up with the ADC, maybe all these agreements, all these the I's, the T's must have been dotted and crossed, But from the look of things, even Daniel Bwala came out to say Peter Obi might not be, on the ballot, considering the fact that he has joined up with the ADC. But not necessarily, though. It could end up in any other political party who is interested in having him. But your take on that particular decision by Peter Obi, let me have your say to it.
See, Peter Obi, like every other Nigerian, has the right of association.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what he has simply expressed by leaving the Labour Party for the ADC. But I dare say, in my personal opinion, that Peter Obi is only on a voyage. He's simply on an experiment. He's simply on a picnic in the ADC. And that is because it's not looking like the power that be in the ADC are willing or are showing any tendency of the possibility of handing over the presidential ticket to a Peter Obi. And if that be the case, the force behind Peter Obi, please mind the word force, I didn't say movement. The force behind Peter Obi, that is talking about the force of the people and the force of some parts of the international community. Behind them will not make a Peter Obi subjective to any other person as vice president, because they believe so much that is the change that Nigeria needs. So that force behind him will not make him accept vice presidency within the ADC. And the force behind him will not want him not to be on the ballot paper. That means he might still end up seeking candidacy of another party. That's why I said he's on a voyage. He's on an excursion. He's on an attempt at making sure his team is more formidable. But if eventually the ADC does not give him tickets, I foresee a Peter Obi flying the ticket of another party, because the force behind him wants him on the ticket, on the ballot at all costs.
Okay, let's allow cities. Okay, go on, Ayo.
Number two, briefly, is the unseeming, unrelenting clout that former Vice President Atiku seems to be hovering over the ADC. And the ADC has not come out clear to say they are zoning presidency. So if they are not clear about definite zoning of the presidency to the south, which will give Peter Obi a chance, and if Atiku is able to do what he did within the APC, within the PDP, and snatches, I use the word snatches deliberately, and snatches the ticket of the ADC as their presidential candidate, then that party is also set up for another self-destruct, because a number of them have committed to southern presidency. So if a northerner in an Atiku emerges as the candidate of the party, a good number of them will likely move out with an Obi to form another formidable team, while others will find solace in the APC, which they seem to be fighting now. So it's a good day ahead. Well, in all, Nigerians should realize that these political gladiators are not doing it for the acclamation of the benefit of the people. This, for them, is about interest. And that is why we need to be mindful about the choices we make in 2027.
Going by your analogy right now, and the results might not be different from what was recorded in 2023, right?
Most likely, because the House divided against itself will not stand. If the opposition cannot come together to form a force, and they now disseminate their strength on the platform of different political parties, the result we had in 2023 might not be different, if not even more surprising than what we had.
Okay, let's see if we can allow citizens now. 0906-201-1025, 0904-040-1025. When you call, please turn down the volume on your radio set. The WhatsApp portal is also open. The number is 0906 200 1025. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning to you.
I'm Mr. Samuel Smith from Ijele.
Okay.
My contribution towards this discussion is
No,
I will advise...
Where do you say you are calling from again? Italy?
Ijele.
Where?
Behind the Jago.
Okay, go on, please, yeah.
Yeah. And my contribution is that I advise all the other oppositions, so long as they believe that they are against the government on ground and they don't like the activities, they should unite together, all of them, to form a body if they are really fighting for Nigeria. Thank you so much, and God bless Nigeria.
All right, thank you. God bless you too. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Yes, good morning to you.
It's Emmanuel. I'm speaking to you from Epe.
Emmanuel, go on, please.
I think talking about the issue in River State, more people will concerned with Wike from APC than from any other political party. The reason is Wike seems to be wielding influences, across the country as a national leader, so to speak, even of the APC, if care is not taken. And then you won't have a Ganduje, you will have a Femi Gbajabiamila, and the likes, wanting to see PDP be the second in command, in the country, who is not even from their party. So I see systematical support, given to Fubara in APC in order to water down the influence of a Wike. But the ultimate decision lies, in the hands of the president. And wherever the presidents go, will be the main thing, we are looking at. But if indeed the president swings to the side of Fubara, I see a Wike supporting article in 2027, which would be very, very interesting, because in Nigeria, nobody cares about ideology. They can bring anything up, in order to achieve, whatever they want to achieve. Good morning to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Emmanuel from Ekpe. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Balogun.
Yes, good morning to you.
Yeah, this is Wale from Bechilaki.
All right, Wale, good morning.
Yeah, please. I want to know if it's actually true. There's this thing in the news that Wike is boasting that he spent 50 billion to make the president is it today. Is it true?
Well, things can be flying around, but I can verify that on the show. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning to you.
Yes, you want to Abdul Wasil 81.
Okay.
81 is calling from Magaway.
Go on, Wasil.
Thank you for the good work you are doing at Eagle FM. We always appreciate what you are doing. Yes, concerning River, I believe that if Mr. President know how to play politics very well, this is the time I will know. He's supposed to be on the side of Fubara. And at the end of the day, Wike will lose. I can assure you that. Because politics is about collective efforts of the people, not about individual. We saw what happened in Lagos. Obi did not have it.
From your end, not mine. 0906 201 1025 0904 040 1025. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you.
This is Dele Azan calling from Djibouti.
All right, Dele Azan, good morning.
Yeah, the discussion is very, very, very interesting. My take on the whole issue is that as for Obi, as for Nyesom Wike and Fubara saga, I say a case where Fubara will lose that eventually. Because Mr. President cannot sacrifice Wike because of Fubara. Even though we are talking of APC national leadership, fighting Fubara, at the end of the day, it will come down to like your mind to do analyze to the structure. Structure of APC and PDP in the university belongs to Wike. Fubara will lose out. Just watch it. It will not be picked by either by APC. You will see it. And let me tell you one thing. Mr. President cannot call Wike to order because it is the same thing Mr. President did in Lagos State. That Wike tried to do in the State. Mr. President has no moral standing to call Wike to order. The only thing he can do is to make sure that his own interest is protected by allowing Wike people to work for him and black people to work for him. But calling him to order will be difficult because the same thing he did in Lagos State is what Wike tried to do in the State. And those who are clamoring like you read in your news, that on Donald Trump. Now they have seen who the Assange truly is. I hope they will mind, they will chill out a bit before inviting him to come and throw fire on Nigeria.
Okay, all right. I've taken your point. That will be the last issue we will be looking at on the show this morning. Ayo, just before we wrap up, let's talk about the United States president. Right now, apologies on that. Right now, he is focusing on taking control of Greenland from Denmark. Just last Saturday, we saw what he did with the Venezuelan president, Nicolas Maduro. And the purpose of all of this is even clearer seen to the blind about resources and all. The likes of China, Russia, have been at the negotiating table talking business about resources and all. It seems Donald Trump is not playing that game anymore. It's about the might of the United States now. Military force seems to be what the United States president is using as a negotiating factor now. And some have asked, who needs to call the president to order? Will it be Russia? Will it be Kim Jong-un? Or the U.S. Congress itself? Ayo, your take as we wrap up.
It's quite unfortunate, and it was envisaged anyway, that Donald Trump is turning himself to an emperor. He's daily defining the principles of democracy. Is simply defiling
okay,
the principles of what you call international negotiations. And it's unfortunate, it seems to be growing wings, becoming uncontrollable even by his own National Assembly. I listened and watched the interview of the minority leader of the Senate in the U.S. and the Speaker of the House of Commerce of Reps in that nation.
Yeah,
and I see a president, when I see a president in their description of a man who sees himself as next to God, who believes that his words must not be challenged. Because how do you explain that the minority leader of the Senate yesterday, that old man, when he was speaking on the TV, was like, look, these things should have been brought before the Senate for consideration. But Mr. President, the POTUS seems not to care. And it is time that the arrogance of a Donald Trump is called to order. Unfortunately, I must say this, that his arrogance cannot be curbed or capped by military challenge. Or else he will be warming up for another world war. Even if things will be corrected, it will have been far destroyed if we allow or if we decide to go through the path of war to correct a Trump. But it is high time that coalition of competent leaders of nations put themselves together to address the arrogance of Donald Trump as the president of the United States of America, before he throws the world into not just confusion, but into disarray. How does a man wake up one day to go and sit the president of another nation and even threatening the acting president of that same nation that the treatment meted to his boss will be meted to her if she does not align with the demands of the U.S.? That is devoid of international diplomacy. And as if that was not enough, a few days after, he jumped into the Greenland of Denmark and want to take over their land. That shows you the arrogance that is brewing in a Trump as president. That arrogance is what needs to be corrected and moderated. And I dare say again, that cannot be done with military prowess.
Well, Ayo, looking at this action now, some have said it's not even about calling Trump to order, saying this could further embolden the likes of Russia to tighten its grip on Ukraine, even China on Taiwan, maybe Rwanda on Congo, or Nigeria further on Benin or Togo. Your take on it.
There's what is called precedence. And precedence often, in this case, is precedence of error. Look, the US is laying a precedence that she might not be able to correct herself. Now, US is infiltrating other countries illegally. What right would the US have to caution China or Russia when they begin to act the same? They are also looking away now, because we need to also address that. China and the rest of the world powers are looking away. You hardly can find or trace to them a statement of condemnation on what Donald Trump has done. It's a tool in international diplomacy to say that if you can do it because you have control on that nation, we also can do it on the nations we have control over. And that is the fear of precedence that I'm talking about. Because now there seems to be a silence, there seems to be the conspiracy of silence among the world powers. US is misbehaving and they are looking away. That tells you that they also might have the propensity and the intention of wanting to do the same. And when it happens, US will lose the morals of calling them to order, because it will become, if you can do it, we also can do it. And this is why I'm calling out leaders of nations that it is high time that they need to call a solemn assembly among themselves and put Donald Trump where he belongs, even though not literally. But it needs some sense spoken to him, or else they are also having intention of using this precedence to auto hurt. Look at what Russia did. They have renewed their hostility against Ukraine now. And US is not saying anything about it because they are beginning to lose the morality for condemnation. And that is going to throw the world into a serious confusion, if not war.
Serious confusion, if not war. Some have said, are we returning to the era of slavery or colonization of countries now?
Gradually, if this trend continues, nations will begin to, fish will begin to eat fish. Nations will begin to colonize nations. Bigger nations will begin to swallow younger ones or smaller ones, especially where resources is accruable.
Ayodeji Ologun, I want to appreciate you for your insight this morning. Thank you so much for your time.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
It's always a delight to have you, I must say. All right. That'll be the size of the show this morning. I do appreciate every one of you for your time and your contribution as well. I am Olakunle Balogun. Let's do this again tomorrow, Thursday. Bye-bye and have a beautiful midweek.